Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's great to be back. My name is Scott and I like to work on expressions that are in Japanese. Continue with this. How do you put these into English? And I have two more I'd like to present today. They're kind of on different ends of the spectrum in a way. The first one actually is in a good way, and the second one is in the way of when somebody passes away, dies, expires, leaves this earth. Let me get to the first one, which is based on food. And it's simple enough in Japanese, oishi, which means delicious, right? So I just want to do some words that are going to be used with the word delicious. So you could say, of course, delicious, but often, more cases than not, especially in America perhaps, good is used. So how is it? It's good, just good. It's very good. It's pretty good. It's really good. So based for food as well, so it's good. Now, of course, you could say it's delicious, as well as you could also say it's tasty, or it's scrumptious, or it's delectable, or it's excellent. Those are all wonderful is fine as well. So you can use all those words that describe taste. It's good is what maybe the most common one. I won't say it's, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I often say it's good, very good, really good, pretty good. Just want to give you some caution, words of caution as well. As I come across in Japan, my students say, but actually it's not very natural in native English. So using good, but also using that as an adjective before the word taste. So sometimes it has a good taste. That's not really natural English, and native speakers don't really say good taste. They're just going to say good, it's good. So it has a good taste is not really common in among native speakers, or so at least in America. So I'd avoid that one. Just stay with good. You don't need good taste. But you can use good taste, but it's not food related. So if I say he has good taste in clothes, he's very fashionable. He has nice clothes, he has nice suits or so. So good taste in something means the person has a good sense of fashion, or a good taste in cars or so. It could be anything, but especially for fashion. So a good taste in clothes. But stay away from good taste when it comes to describing food. So it is good, okay. It has a good taste, not so good, okay. And also, sometimes the students come up with the word yummy. Now, it's not a mistake, but if you're 4 years old, you say yummy, that's good. But if you're 34 years old and you say yummy, it doesn't really match. It's kind of a kid's word. So I never say yummy. If I do say yummy, it's because it's a joke, but not yummy. So it's good is best. Delicious, excellent, delectable, fine, wonderful, they're all good. So stay away from good taste describing food and the word yummy, unless you're 6 years old. Okay, next up is the sad situation when somebody departs this earth, somebody dies. And in Japanese, most common, maybe the most common to speak for it, I'm going to sayお悔やみ申し上げます, which is quite common in Japanese. Now, sometimes students it's kind of an awkward situation because what should I say in this case? So somebody tells you, native speaker says that their father or grandfather or somebody passed away. And they don't know exactly what to say in such a situation. Now, the best way, and what I often would use myself, would be, if you understand what you just heard, just simply enough, I'm sorry to hear that. So the other person says, oh, my grandmother passed away last month. I'm sorry to hear that. Just that's fine. That meaning because you understand the situation. Now, if you had heard that somebody's grandmother passed away from somebody else, and you see the person whose grandmother had passed away, then you can say, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother's passing. I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother's passing. That's fine. That's enough, and that's very, very appropriate. I'm sorry to hear about your grandfather, grandmother, great-grandfather. I'm going to go even higher. Great-grandmother's passing. That's fine. It's most appropriate. I'd recommend that one most. Now, there are other things you can say, but they're more for writing than speaking. You could say, you have my sympathies. You make it stronger. You have my sincerest sympathies. Or you have my condolences, even stronger. You have my sincerest condolences. They're okay for saying, especially for writing, but they are possible. So if you hear the news, oh, I'm sorry to hear that You have my sincerest condolences. That's fine. It's very polite. It's very, what's the word I want to say? Polite, formal in usage. But again, you could say it with somebody older or somebody younger. You have my sincerest condolences. You have my sincerest sympathies. And the best one, I'm sorry to hear that. If you heard from somebody else, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother's passing. Okay, everybody? Try to remember those, and hopefully you don't have to use them anytime soon. But if the situation does come up, you will be prepared for that in English. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back here again soon. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.